This is John from Fruitful Acres. Checking out some of our apples. Walking around, seeing how things are going. This is one tree of about 10, Red Delicious. This was already here on the property before we moved in. I think it was planted in the early 90s. They are collard trees, so they are standard rootstock, but then a metal collar was put around them, with the idea being that if you collared the trunk, it would affect the height of the tree, which I guess worked, but over the years they found a better way to do it, which is grafting different rootstock onto different tops that you want. But these are collard. We had to prune them back pretty heavy. They were left kind of feral, but the Red Delicious, they're good for us. We get a good fruit set every year. Last year was a heavy year. This is the lighter year, but still got a decent fruit set. So they're coloring up. They're probably not going to get much bigger than they are right now. Maybe a little bit. But they're looking pretty good. So these are our Red Delicious. And then we have 2 rows, about 10 trees of Golden Delicious. There's a little bird's nest right there, hanging out. We have a couple rows of Golden Delicious that we don't get much off of. They're not the healthiest trees. There are still some signs of fire blight. We're slowly taking some of these existing trees out and either not replacing them or replacing them with disease-resistant varieties. We got some apples, not too many, a few. But because, again, the fruit set is light, the apples are way bigger. So that definitely is a factor. But you can see there's some signs. What are the signs? See how it looks burnt? That trunk looks burnt and black. That's fire blight. And unfortunately, at least conventionally, and even, or organically and even conventionally, you can't really get rid of it once you got it. So you can see here's a Golden Delicious. Let me get on the other side of the sun where the top's dead. The bottom's pushing out some new shoots. So I'm probably going to cut it about waist high, let some of those shoots do their thing, and just cut this top off. So that's our Golden Delicious. We have a few of those, but not the greatest producers. And then we have some Empire. These do well for us. These set fruit pretty much annually. Whether it's the Red Delicious or the Empire, they tend to set fruit pretty heavy every year. So we got a good fruit set. Be interesting to see how much bigger these fruits get by the end of the year. I mean, they have probably about a month before. These are pretty small. You can see these are large golf ball size. So hopefully they get a little bit bigger. So we have those 2 rows of Empire. And then we have 2 rows of Macintosh. Another red variety grape. And then, before I sobered up and realized I should stop planting apples, which was a few years ago, and we had to deal with this fire blight, which is ridiculous, planted a couple rows. These are standard rootstock. They are Kingston Black. They are cider apples. I don't know if they're going to turn black. They're not black right now. There's a couple. The standard trees take longer to fruit, so we planted these 3 or 4 years ago. They're getting decent size, but there are some fruit. Not too many. maybe next year. Apples take time, not like peaches. It's one of the many reasons why I like peaches, because they, similar to grapes, they will produce fruit on last year's new growth, where apples are not the case. Let's see here. So these are the Kingston Black. Not too many, maybe next year, but they're supposed to be really good for cider. So that's why we planted them. And then throughout, look at that, there's a little plane going over. Let's see. Can I get it in there? Oh, there it is. No, this has nothing to do with anything, but it's kind of cool. All right. Anyways. Then, where some trees were missing, you see that I planted some smaller trees in between. These are dwarf trees. Some of them are Honeycrisp. Some of them are additional Golden Delicious. And then we have this one row of columnar trees, planted every 3 feet. These are Crimson Gold, a disease-resistant variety, which still gets fire blight, so it's not really disease-resistant. But these are kind of cool. I figured I'd give it a try. I like planting things on trellises. I think it makes a lot of sense. I wanted to try this with apples. I think if I didn't have apples and I was gonna plant apples, this is the way I would do it. Have a nice row, hedgerow. You can use it as a, you know, a landscaping feature to break up. It's kind of what we did here. Have this row, then we have our little fire pit, and then a row of the American plums. But that is our apple.